lost it.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform. My name is Amechi Anakweze. Monday morning, very interesting developments over last weekend. Series of activities. Where do we begin from? Well, Kemi Adosu is still trending. We hear she's in London. Did she sneak out? No confirmation yet. But a lot of issues arising from her resignation last weekend. Let's see it from her own standpoint. Some powerful persons in government and in the country not comfortable with her good deeds, the moves, policies, programs, reforms she introduced, the way she tried to block the issue of sleaze in government, attempts to by some people to corruptly enrich themselves. They say she stopped it. The payment of lawyers handling the Abacha repatriated funds, she questioned it. The tax reform she introduced, and many of them, some say it's an opportunity for those she has hurt as a result of very beautiful policies and programs that are fighting back, using this as an opportunity to paint her black and get rid of her. But some people have said it is a lesson for Nigerians in diaspora. If you have your child there, if you have a relative or a friend, once you are a graduate, even if you were born there, advise them to come back and do the mandatory national youth service before they turn 30. Because in future, you may not know, Nigeria may even be better than the United States, than UK, than Canada, what have you. So you may have a need to come back here. But if you go through the NYSC, maybe you can really be in a better place to contribute to your to the development of your fatherland. Some people said, according to the APC, that Kemi Adosu is a woman of integrity and honor. PDP says she should be in jail. Some questions if she's a woman of honor and of integrity. Why did she wait over 2 months to resign? Was she forced to resign? Did she voluntarily resign? Was she looking for an opportunity to, like we do in Nigeria, model herself through when it became obvious that she has her back against the wall? She now resigned. Does that amount to integrity? What about the issue of equality before the law? James Ayodele Lebi is a staff of the Auditor General of the Federation, the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. He forged a certificate of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, with a view to gaining promotion. He did gain promotion, but he was caught for forging that certificate, was dragged before the court by the ICPC, was convicted. As we speak, he's serving 2 years in jail with 100,000 naira fine. Now, is there anything different from what that gentleman did and what Kemi Adosu did? One is a minister, the other one an ordinary civil servant. One is in prison, the other is in London. Now, did the ICPC think of prosecuting Adosu? The confession she made, some people believe it is confession to crime, that ICPC only needs to present it to a court, the admission that she really forged the document for the court to sentence her to prison. These are some of these issues. But the federal government over the weekend reacted to the prediction of one of the leading banking and financial services institutions in the world, HSBC. They said they have businesses across 80 countries of the world with over 7,500 branches. We told you last week on this program that bank said if President Muhammadu Buhari wins re-election in 2019, then Nigeria's economy will be worse off for it. There will be a bad economic situation in Nigeria. The presidency and the EFCC over last weekend came out with statements accusing HSBC of helping to undermine the Nigerian economy by making itself providing safe haven for looters of the Nigerian economy to put their money in their banks, and they turn a blind eye that millions of naira and billions of millions of dollars and billions of naira of Abacha loot They are still with HSBC and they have refused to bring it back to Nigeria. Very interesting times. In Kwara State, of course, preparations for the governorship election. Former Minister of National Planning, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, says he is the man to beat. He has publicly declared peaked form and said he has all it takes to deliver Kwara to the next level. He says his experience as a minister and the fact that he has been university teacher for so long places him in a better stead. And Danjuma Atta of Adavioke Hifera constituency in Kogi State, a blind Nigerian, believes staying aside, watching from the sideline will not help. He needs to go into the National Assembly to begin to protect and promote the interests of the very many Nigerians who are fiscally challenged, millions of them. And he says he must get in there. Does he need our support? If you ask me, vulnerable groups, women, some parties have reduced their nomination fees, some have said free. These are the people who should be giving our support. Shola Jaisime is with me in the studio this morning.
Amechi, well, interesting weekend on the political and governance turf, I would clearly say. Kemi Adeosun, you said it, it's still trending. When the thing broke on Friday morning, is it true, is it not true? Eventually, later in the evening, we saw the statements that came out saying the president has accepted the resignation of Kemi Adeosun. You said she's in London. That's interesting. How she is able to just move freely and get back to a country where she was born, bred and raised for almost 34 years begs my, beats my mind. Why am I saying this? In other countries where we copied democracy and this sort of governance from, immediately she admitted perjury, she should have been arrested. There are lots of government officials out there who, upon admission of perjury, the law will begin to take its course. Is it a case of different laws for different people? And I like the fact you went into a public servant, someone who is serving this country, trying to make progress, but career progression, he dropped documents that weren't, correct. When will we begin to look at politically exposed persons are people who should also face the wrath of the law when they err? Kemi has admitted that this is what happened. I didn't know, but the law will tell you ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So we have a lot to do about this. I don't know whether she'll be able to come back to this country and have that opportunity to hold the office again. The chances are very slim because she's been exposed now. She's been publicly named. And of course, you can say she's been shamed, though she resigned that position. So it's not very good things. Other people should be unearthed. And this will deepen our, governance process. You were asking me a question before we came on air, Amechi, that did the DSS, which claims to do due diligence and checkups on people to be appointed, even people to be elected to sensitive positions, did they do the needful? So questions for the DSS, questions for all the other agencies.
And questions for the National Assembly. Now, we're told that the National Assembly, the Senate especially, was aware of these forged certificates.
Yes, those are things.
But they kept quiet. The online newspaper that broke the story said they were aware. Now, and instead of blowing the lead, they kept quiet, but they used it to their own advantage. And they were blackmailing her, using it to extort money from her, force her to release. That's what the Premium Times said. And the National Assembly waited. And I challenged the National Assembly to speak up on this very grave allegation. They kept quiet. They became deaf and dumb. Over 2 months, nothing has been heard of about that.
Now, we didn't call it over 2 months.
It's over 2 months.
Over 3 years. They knew right from when she was.
Yeah, when Premium Times came out with the argument, with the story. Now, the issue is, if the DSS, like you rightly mentioned, what is their vetting process like?
Clearly.
Were they aware, or were there political pressures? That of the National Assembly. Is it true? We don't believe it's true, but where the National Assembly keeps quiet, we begin to believe that they have admitted guilt. They have an opportunity today, tomorrow, next week to speak up on this issue, because after Kemi Adeosun is off, the next campaign, prosecute her and investigate further. If she has been blackmailed by some people, what are the security agencies doing? Job for them.
Exactly. Clearly, job for for everybody that is involved in this. It's a mess, actually, and it's not very, very good. Still talking about issues that have funny things underneath them. There were some promotions recently in the Nigerian police, and my friend, who I was happy that I was making progress in the month of March, he got promoted to become an assistant commissioner of police. I'm talking about the first public relations officer, Jimoh Moshood. You saw him wearing the pips there with the other thing on the collar. And 3 months later, he got elevated again to the deputy commissioner of police. The fact is that if you look at the hierarchy and seniority in the police as we speak, Jimoh Moshood, an officer who tries to do his job very well, enlisted in the police in the year 2000, 18 years now, but his mates are still chief superintendents of police. And the law for the police in terms of promotion from the Police Service Commission says you must, if you're between the rank of assistant superintendent, which is the most junior for the officer cadre, to as deputy commissioner of police, you must have been on the rank for not less than 3 years. Now, where does that leave these promotions? The good news is that the man who is at the helm of affairs now of the Police Service Commission, talking about a former IG himself, Musliu Smith, has said we are reviewing these promotions. So some might be demoted, some might be,
Okay, we'll continue to keep watch. Just to tell you that we hope to bring in a lawyer into this Kemi Ado-Issue saga. Barrister Demola Oyedoku is waiting on the wings. We'll soon introduce him. But before then, we'll take a break, hear from you, and we come back.
Welcome back from the break. It's the mail segment, and I'm Amaka Okoro.
I'm Ait Yari. Welcome.
We'll begin with a reaction on the resignation of Nigeria's finance minister, and it's coming from Henry Kado from Airport Road here in Abuja. The mail reads, the resignation of the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Ade-Osun, is the most reasonable thing to do. But it should not end there. It will be a slap to a government which prides itself in the fight against corruption if she is not prosecuted with immediate effect, with respect to the certificate forgery saga. Up till today, nothing is being heard about the issue involving the former SGF. As we speak, he is a political gladiator in his state, yet we glory in an administration that fights corruption. The government should do the needful and restore public confidence in the war against corruption, which at the moment seems to be just a witch hunt against perceived political enemies than a sincere endeavor to weed out corruption.
More reactions. Wale in Abeokuta, Ogun State says, last week ended on a very emotional note for some, due to the resignation of the former Honorable Minister for Finance, Mrs. Kemi Ade-Osun. For others, it was a victory for the anti-corruption crusade. However, there are a few lessons to be learned. If Mrs. Ade-Osun's claim is anything to go by, then she was only a victim of fraudulent personalities. She was in the UK all her study life and could only depend on assistance of people for several areas of concern to settle back in Nigeria. I must say that the issue of the NYSC was perhaps the least she could have been bothered with and suspicious about. Nobody can do everything all alone. We all need someone's counsel and assistance. So many of us have depended on people for admission into schools, visa procurement, passport from immigration, travel documents, driver's license, vehicle papers, and much more. How many of us really check back on the authenticity? In fact, how many of us have access to channels to probe the authenticity? We rely only on goodwill. May God help Nigeria.
And with that mail, we draw the curtains on today's mail segment. Keep sending your contributions to us. Send them through to us to Political Platform at repower.fm.
Thank you so much for remaining with us. EFCC and Governor Fayose, his tenure will come to an end. Is it October 14, 15, or 16?
Yeah, correct.
So one of those days, he wrote a letter to the EFCC telling them, as soon as I am out of the government house in Ado-Ekiti, I'll be your guest. Which day will be suitable for you? I think he suggested 16th or so. And we had EFCC reply suggesting a better date. And the next thing, a letter from the EFCC to the customs saying, please make sure that all the entry points, exit points are watertight. When you see a man looking like Peter Ayodele,
why letter to customs? Letter should be to immigration.
Where the issue is that I believe, what I think is that the FCC wrote to all the security agencies, immigration, police, name it, DSS. But the one that was leaked to the public
was the
one of the customs. Of course, the customs are in charge of the wharf, the ports. There could be
even if
Fayose can just steal into a ship, outbound ship, and get away from the country. So the EFCC does not want to take chances. But let's bring in our guest for today, Ademola Oyedoku, a lawyer over the issue of Adeosun saga. Adeosun gets several names. She's out of the country. Has the matter ended, Barrister Oyedoku?
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Real Power.
So have we come to the end of the matter, the Adeosun crisis?
Well, if Nigeria is serious, if the federal government of Nigeria is serious about the so-called fight against corruption, this should not be the end. This should not be the end. This should just be the beginning of the bigger scams to come. We remember that since July 7, when that online newspaper, Premium Time, made its investigative journalistic report open by opening this can of criminality that is under the nose of the federal government that is fighting corruption. There has been a lot of intrigues since then. The federal government itself was very, very quiet. NYSC at a point made a press release where they said, yes, when she came to Nigeria, she made an application for an exemption discharge certificate, but we couldn't tell whether we actually issued one to her or not. NYSC has actually not come out yet publicly that whether they released one or not. What we have currently is an insinuation or to say, or a personal conclusion of individuals that she did forge one. NYSC has not said we didn't release one, but they admitted that she made an application to them. Having said that, we only focus on the aspect of the online newspaper's report accusing Mrs. Adeosun of forging the NYSC certificate. There are so many other issues that followed. The same newspaper also made some reports on 15. They made another report. They said there has been an holy alliance between her and federal lawmakers. And they said because of the newspaper also made an allegation that the federal legislature, were blackmailing her. And as a result of that, she made a lot of huge releases of funds to federal legislature. If that is not corruption, what that is? They said that there was a time she funded the legislature with 10 billion naira to National Assembly, which was wasted on exotic cars, procured through the unregistered company. That was in their report of July 6. And in June, they also reported about 12 billion naira spent by the same minister through blackmail by National Assembly from projects that have already been removed from the budget. So if we focus on her resignation alone, because a lot of people are applauding her that she's courageous, she's patriotic, and she should be pardoned this and that. No, there are lots under this, and this should not be the end. All other allegations that accompany this certificate forgery should be looked into, especially the aspect that relates to blackmail by lawmakers and on illegal releases of funds to National Assembly.
Now you said the NYSC has been quiet. We also challenge the NYSC here to speak up as a public institution, that if they speak up, they will help to strengthen the National Youth Service, to which most of us went through for 1 month, 1 year in service of our fatherland. As every need to protect that institution, they need to speak up. They remain taciturn. They lost their voice. Now we also challenge the NYSC.
They should not keep quiet.
We challenge the National Assembly. We also challenge the National Assembly to speak up. They are looking the other way. They pretended they didn't hear us. We asked the ICPC, DSS to speak up. They have all lost their voice. It appears all the institutions are quiet.
That is why it should not end here. That is the more reason why it should not end here. If it is true that National Assembly has been blackmailing her and she has been releasing unbudgeted huge amounts of money to federal legislatures, now we should dig into that. If this government fails to do all those, I'm afraid the so-called fight against corruption is just a scam. It's not with honesty.
Is it a case of corruption fighting back here? This one woman, some people say, has done a lot, achieved so much. She set up the efficiency unit in the ministry, that unit to help to reduce government spending and curb waste. She did tax reforms.
The measurement of our achievement is relative. To some, yes, she has performed fantastically well. To some others, she has performed below expectations. The economy has been dormant. Policies are beautiful in the paper. The common man has not felt the impact. So the measurement of our achievement is relative. And people read a tone of our resignation letter, which is quite emotion laden. Yes, if you read it, if you are scratching from the surface, you want to say empathize with her. You want to say, no, this will be discouraging for other Nigerians in diaspora who could be of help to this country. No, we shouldn't bring in emotion into this. If truly she is not guilty, I want to say, I'm not pronouncing her guilty, she shouldn't have been yielding to the alleged blackmail by National Assembly. Immediately the issue came out, she should have resigned honorably. She shouldn't have waited till the time when the heat is hot.
As if she's shopping for a way out.
Yeah, it's looking for a way out. There are issues, there are also reports from the same online newspaper that there were serious pressure put on the Director General of NYC, Brigadier General Kazaure, to compromise. Which means if all this really took place, before our eventual resignation, which was also reported to be forced, because I learned also that last Wednesday she was barred from participating in the Federal Executive Council meeting, and she was told verbally by the Chief of Staff to the Presidency to tender a resignation, and she went home downcast. So the so-called resignation that so many people have applauded didn't come voluntarily after all.
It was a forced
it was forced resignation.
But these are speculations, though. There are speculations not established.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Kemi Adoshu is reportedly to be in the UK. Should Nigeria, the anti-corruption agencies, ask for her to be brought back here? We know she has a British passport, apart from, because she's a key witness in unraveling all the other attendant issues. Her interrogation, her confessions, her statements will be key in doing all this. Don't we need to have her back here?
I really don't just want to sound as if I'm attacking the current administration, but the truth must be told. Upon her resignation, Adeosun left this country in no time. I don't want to use the word sneaked out of this country. If truly she's not guilty, there's no need for her to be in a hurry to go back to the United Kingdom. There will be no need for her to rush back to the United Kingdom. She should just wait and assist this country to prove our own innocence, to face the law, and tell us who are those peoples or those are the trusted associates who assisted her and deceived her into using
They are a possible accessory to forgery.
There are a possible accessory, yes.
Possible.
There are, because we know she does not operate a printing company.
Okay.
And then who are those trusted associates she mentioned in her letter? I think it is just desirable for her, it is just honorable for her to assist Nigeria to get to the root of this. And if you try to be in the opposition, some people will insinuate that federal government of Nigeria of today wouldn't have allowed such person to just leave Nigeria just like that.
Okay, I will have to thank you so much, Barrister Demola Oyedoku, for your input.
You are welcome, Mr. Nakwe. Thank you.
Very deep analysis coming from that lawyer there. But something interests me. Someone who is a much senior lawyer, like a father to many of them, a senior advocate of Nigeria, a professor of law.
A teacher.
Yes, Professor Sage said, what is NYSC certificate?
That she's doing
a fantastic job.
Fantastic job. Okay. Maybe we'll expect to hear from him again. Thank you so much for being part of the program. When we come back tomorrow, we continue to interrogate the process. Nigeria must be made better. We distill out emotions, we distill out sentiments. That's the only way to get the country better and make it a pride of all. My name is Ait Political Platform. Thanks for being part of today's edition.
Bust it.